Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, American Chaos Abroad, winning and losing. You guys are going to have to figure out the investment strategies during this recession and this time of the year. And welcome. I'm sorry I'm late, but we had technical difficulties in the background. It took me 30 minutes because all of a sudden EV Mux was going crazy. But it's all right, ladies and gentlemen, because we are here. And if you join us, thank you so much for being here on this SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to All right, welcome back once again. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for this information, who needs the information, who doesn't even know they need the information. That is what is important because once again, this is called Stop Struggling Now for a reason. The first things first, make sure you go to findhelp.org.com, actually. Findhelp.org. That's all you need to go to if you're in the United States, because putting in your zip code, you will see all kinds of help available to you. Give them a phone call. See if they can help you. Some charge, some don't. But those are the first things you need to do when 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You need to find help. Here you go. There's some people that a person that I saw today, I might as well give this because it's American chaos abroad that's affecting everything. A person in America who is blind, legally blind. Therefore, his work opportunities are not the same. Before, well, I have to go by political parties, but it is what it is. Under Biden, he was getting a food assistance of $100 per month. Now, ever since last year, February 2025, it dropped to the new administration under Trump, $24 a month for food assistance. Now, that's not the only thing. Later in the year, it dropped to $12 a month. Remember now that they are trying to do job requirements and all this other stuff, right? This is the type of thing that people in a country such as ours should not have to deal with. If they are impaired, then how are you expecting them to go find a job, livable wage job, which, don't get it twisted, there's some people that can do something, right? But now you're saying, well, we can't even give you $100 per month. And then you have to think about the values, this American chaos abroad that's costing taxpayers more than what it would cost for us to make sure everybody was not homeless, everybody has food and shelter. But that's not what we're living with. It's going to get worse. This is why your opportunities on investing, if you have the money, disposable income, is going to suit you well, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, whether it's war, whether it's recession, oil, gas, energy, they're all going up. So this is oftentimes why people invest in utility type of stocks. When there's war, people invest in, you guessed it, defense stocks. Then others say, well, let me get my little treasuries because that's safe haven, so to speak. Others would say get some gold and silver, precious metals. Nothing wrong with that at all. But all I'm going to say is All of it now is at risk because you never know what's going to happen from day to day because the stock market moves on a whole different paradigm than it has over the last 100 years. All it takes is a president to put in a tweet and the market moves, which is scary. And that's where the problem starts happening. So, first off, we started with where you should be investing so you understand which way to go, right? It's very simple. This isn't like a long list of things. This is a short list. But if you're one of the 80% of the population that's living paycheck to paycheck, what can you do? And I start off all these live streams lately with the most logical situation. 8 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck because they are in debt. Standard, because it costs so much. Prices rise, you don't get paid the inflation rate. At the end of the year, they don't go, hey, inflation was 3.9 or 7% and give you a 7% raise because they can't turn around and charge their customers a 7 or 14% raise, right? Then they'll have less sales, which means they'd have to lay you off. Do you guys get the picture? Because that is why you should start thinking about what you should be doing to invest in yourself. That's right. Health is wealth. So once again, a little exercise, a little walk around the block does wonders. Keeping yourself hydrated does wonders. Those simple things right there, and making sure you eat properly. You don't need to go out on these processed food limbs. So once you start figuring out long term what you need to do, you don't need any health problems is number one if you can avoid them. And you can avoid a lot of them if you put yourself in the right mindset. And you can also go to any of our social media platforms. I do post up sometimes health foods to eat, healthy fruits and vegetables to eat, and what it actually helps that particular body part. So that in itself will stop you from having to go to the inevitable doctor. Because once again, if you have to go there, they're looking for collections, whether you have insurance or not. Some people have co-paid, some don't. But the fact of the matter is, you get sicker and sicker, and you will find yourself in medical debt. And that escalates so fast, it'll make your head spin and your family's head spin. So once again, you have to protect yourself when there's war, when there's chaos, when there's American chaos abroad. You should be protecting yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be out here holding the bag. So first things first, let me see who's in the house. EV Place is here. Another investor's in the house. He's here. He's done the thing. Inside of America, investing. Outside of the America, he's investing. Investing in his own self because he has his businesses here inside America, outside of America. Bank accounts outside of America, inside of America. This is what we're talking about, by the way, our three-prong attack. But he has that icon next to his name as well, which I humbly appreciate. That means he's a member of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for that, EV Place. And he brings his tagline, and welcome again to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream. He says, good evening. I hope all is doing well in this mess. Exactly. It's not going to end well. We have gas prices all over the country at over $5 to $8 per gallon. That means the trickle down effect is going to happen, and it's trickling down where you're going to be paying higher prices just to collect your transportation items. Shipping's going to cost more. Food is going to cost more. Things that ship to stores that you buy is going to cost more. And unfortunately, we're a consumer nation now, ladies and gentlemen. So, as he said, the mess is going to get wider and wider, and it's unavoidable. You're just getting a little taste right now. All this chaos that's done on purpose, by the way, that's the wildest thing. None of this needs to happen. It's all done on purpose. Fleecing of America by a few. That is a problem. All right, here we go. He says $3.59 per gallon in Massachusetts. That's about the lowest rate ever right now. That is awesome. We're going to have to find out why Massachusetts is only $3.59. I'm only joking, but that's still a good price, but it must have been much lower like a month or two back, because if it's 359 now, what was it before? 280? I mean, that's a great price, and I would highly suggest you fill up. But why does Massachusetts? I'm going to Google this, because why does Massachusetts? We got to find out. Okay, have the best education. That's cute. But I'm not looking for that. Okay. Um, let's go find out. Maybe these guys are pretty smart up there, you know? Them guys that are educated, they're pretty smart. Um, Here we go. This is March 2026. Massachusetts often sees lower gas prices compared to other regions due to the combination of factors, including lower state taxes on fuel. That helps compared to some neighbors. Efficient maritime supply chain logistics and local demand fluctuations. Wow, okay. The state benefits from receiving refined fuel directly via barge and tanker to Boston Harbor, which helps manage costs despite lacking local refineries. I guess efficiency matters, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, they are saying he is right. They're saying the average price is some of the lowest in the country. $3.65 is lower than some surrounding areas. Wow. That's how they do it, ladies and gentlemen. They have something directly shipped from refineries from Canada and Europe directly to their Boston harbor. And from there, they send it out, unlike other country or other states do. That is one of the reasons why they have the lowest fuel prices. Again, lower taxes for their fuel and state tax, that is. So again, and it's shipped directly to their state. No need for a refinery. Oh my, talk about saving money. That's pretty sweet. Directly? How sweet is that? Now we know why. Ladies and gentlemen, just keep in mind that little strategy. Look at this, $2.70. Say they live in large up there. They did the right thing. They have their own state delivery system to the citizens and to their state. Very smart. And the taxes are lower. Very smart. There you go. Innovative. Now, for them, an extra dollar per gallon might seem like a lot, but if you live in other states, you're like, wait, it's $5 here. It's $8 here. It's $7 here. $4.50 there. So once again, I like what they're doing, but they're innovative. And this right here is what America was supposed to be. It was supposed to be those who are the most efficient get to sell and beat the competition. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of mediocre losers in our country now that can't stand to lose, so they have to rig the system in their favor, which means that hurts a majority of the citizens. Because I'm going to put it to you plain and simple. If you cannot get the worst companies out of the way, too big to fail, ring a bell? If you cannot remove them and they stay in position, that means the government is helping them and propping them up using our tax monies via subsidies, tax cut, tax breaks. Does that sound familiar? They're helping the ones that should have failed, and new competition would have stepped in and been more efficient and better. But no, gatekeepers are blocking. So this is why our whole system is very, very bad. And I'm very happy to find out that Ray Dalio a big time investor, has finally joined the SSN Nation. Woof. I was just getting tired of telling people for 40 years you don't know what the cycles are. That you live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet. He's got like a 10-part plan. One goes up, one, two, three, I think it was four, five, hits the top, you plateau out. It's the cycle of empires, basically. All empires fail, just like the Roman Empire, the Genghis Khan Empire. All empires fail, ladies and gentlemen. They have a cycle. People don't realize this. So, on the scale of 10, I think he has a scale of 10. He's got it at number 7, coming on the downside. And on the downside is what it looks like now. And I absolutely agree, because once you don't know what country you live in, you don't know what to do. You're sitting there falling and going, oh my God, the sky is falling and I have no options. Well, see, on the empire going up, the empire at the plateau, and the empire going down, you always have an opportunity. You just might have to be out of your comfort zone. So that's why we talk about some things that are very, very uncomfortable, because does it really matter who you have an allegiance to regarding parties? Allegiance to corporations? Does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, corporations are there to make money, to make sure their stockholders make money, not you. So therefore, you have to invest in stocks. Now, are you going to invest in defense stocks? Let me hear if somebody is. Are you going to invest in oil, gas, electricity? Don't be shy out there, because you might want to be in oil, gas, and electricity, because mandated wise, they get to make profits every year. That's why they can raise their price. They can go, oh, we need an extra 4%. They're going to get approval. So that means they're going to make profit. Now, if you want their little bit of dividends or wait for their stock price to increase, that's fine. But the point is, that's how the wealthy keep getting wealthier, because that's where they park their money into: oil, gas, electricity, utility companies, oil and gas companies. And they just sit there and wait, because they get preferred treatment in America. This isn't capitalism. Let's get real. It's pseudo-communism at this point. You have state-regulated scenarios, so therefore you're going to be hurt. Okay, here we go. Eric, have you heard the USA lost an F-22 Raptor? Yes, that's $350 million of taxpayers' money. Not only did they lose that, they have 3 shot down. Not Raptors, though. It was the ones that cost $1 billion, which I don't know. I'm not up on their hardware. But it's 3 $1 billion planes. Each got shot down. The Raptor is one sweet-ass machine. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. They were the stealth models. I don't know what they were, but $1 billion. So that means $3.3 billion of planes, and guess it's only 4 planes. Taxpayers, you're paying for this crap. So once again, taxpayers' money is about to go up. And since they gave the tax cuts and tax breaks to the wealthy, you're going to be paying more taxes next year. You're going to have to make up for it. And actually going to make up for it in so many different ways. This all has to be, the cost of living is going to increase. So if you want to get in on the game, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to, health is wealth. You're going to have to create extra streams of revenue. Those extra streams of revenue can come from investing, where you receive dividends. That would be helpful. That would be passive, at least. That's one way you can do it. Or like I've been talking about over the last 6, 7, 8 months, you can learn how to trade. And then you can also be active on the ups and downs during the day and the evening and overnight and the futures market. You can be playing all of it at a particular time during the day, and you could win. So that means, as you guys know, we always have to talk about that once I do that. Let's go. He says, Raptor was never shot down before. Uh-oh. That's a problem. That is a problem, because that is one cold piece of hardware. But the fact that it costs that much is insane. These things aren't that big. I'm just saying, they're not like, they don't take up much space in the air, and they move real fast. They have maneuver capabilities unlike anything else. And now this is where things, I want to talk about American chaos abroad, but this has to do with American chaos abroad, losing and winning. Let me ask you something. Why, if you are in America and you have people from all over the world come to America to learn, and you have people all over the world come to America to help America, why on earth would you be against immigrants coming to America from different backgrounds, different experiences? This is what made America elevate fast, because you had so many different diverse cultures, and people have different ways of looking at things and different histories. Remember, there's some people from outside of the United States that have family histories of century. I mean, start, I mean, 1,000 years they can trace back their families. 1,000 years of stories, 1,000 years of war stories, 1,000 years, all kind of tricks, all kind of ways of doing something that a country that's only 500 years old would not even dream of knowing about. So you can't stack on top the knowledge. So you have people coming here, and then all of a sudden you go, you know what? We're so good, we don't need anybody else's help. Arrogance gets you jacked up, ladies and gentlemen. And that's where we are right now. We have arrogance, thinking that just because you build $350 million planes, $1 billion planes, stealth bombers, all this stuff, you're thinking, oh yeah, don't worry, nobody else can figure out anything. Taxpayers, that is what is hurting us. A $1 trillion military industrial complex for no apparent reason other than to attack and take natural resources. That is a problem, because when you start looking at it from a standpoint of not living in America, you want to know what it's like if you live in anywhere outside of America, in the Middle East, in Africa, in Asia. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like any given day you could be attacked, and have been. By who else? The United States, Israel. Meanwhile, they're the ones saying everybody else are the bad guys, but they're the ones attacking people and killing leaders of other countries. And we have 9/11. People lost their minds during 9/11 when the planes got hijacked. Not where there was bombs falling all over on people's heads, but skyscrapers getting ran into by planes. And compared to what happened in Gaza, a drop in the bucket of deaths. But America went ballistic, signed off giving their rights and freedoms away, wiretapping, facial recognitions, no warrants, all this stuff given up because some Saudi Arabia dudes ran the game for bin Laden, and they did their thing, but America's never recovered. And America's the one that's going around the world bombing people. Libya says, hey, I'm going to make sure we have, Gaddafi says, hey, I'm going to make sure everybody has money from these oil wells. I'm not giving them to BP. I'm not giving them to the U.S. oil companies. I'm sorry, it's our soil, it's our stuff. UN Charter says it's our stuff. F you. And I'm going to give free education, and I'm going to give free health care. And you know what the United States said? He's a terrorist. He's a bad guy. No, we should get rid of him. They killed him. That doesn't look very good, ladies and gentlemen. That's no more like I'm a black guy and the KKK rolls up on my parents or grandparents or me, and they sit there and say, well, we're going to hang you. And they do. And they hang a few people of your family members, and you sick of there the rest of your life. Are you going to be good with the KKK? Let's get real. What you're gonna be doing is looking for their ass, right? You wish you would show up. Let me find you. Wouldn't you be thinking that, right? You ain't gonna be thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna be friends. No, I'm hunting you down too. I'm gonna be like wishing you're gonna be death to you. So come on now, stop this chump play out here, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody tries to hurt your family, you're just gonna go, oh yeah, it's all right. Come on now, stop it. Stop playing out here. What are you guys out here thinking? And because of this mindset, we are in trouble, Americans. You guys need to understand what you need to invest in because this little chaos that's abroad had no reason to happen and it's costing us a country. Do you know we do not have any money, right? You don't have any money. They're going to be yanking your bank accounts. They're going to be yanking your brokerage accounts. They're going to be yanking and trying to get money from anywhere to pay for all of this. On top of all the other stuff that they made you pay for in this big, beautiful bill. This is a death sentence, and Ray Dalio is on it. So I got to give him kudos because he finally is one of the big dogs that came out and said what should have been said 30 years ago. But see, he was busy being happily making a lot of money. So they didn't want to sound the alarm. I've been sounding the alarm for 6 years. So therefore, you guys should be ready. Anybody new here? Okay, maybe you're not, but you're going to be. Get a bank account outside the United States. Get a real estate or business outside the United States jurisdiction. And get your debt in order. 775 credit score. Speaking of that, I'm staying on top of that for every live stream that we do. Okay, here we go. EV place. Now Russians, S-400 and Chinese know how to do it. Great move. You know, I've been having arguments with people for a while because this fallacy that just because you have all these weapons, they may be awesome, right? And then people say, well, this nothing can be done. I'm like, how do you know? The rest of the world, again, this is just like business. If I have a business and I'm winning, do you know how many other people are out there trying to figure out how I'm winning first? Second off, there's another set of people that's figuring out how they can take away my patrons. That's automatic. If you're the top dog, people are out there hunting. They're trying to knock you off the pedestal. They're trying to knock off the number one. They're trying to knock off number two. You're in the sights. You're in the line of fire. They're sitting there going, these guys got this. We got to beat them. Do you really think America's that far ahead just because they say so? This is the problem I've always had because people don't understand. Like a person was talking to me about Bitcoin, right? And this is the same thing. They go, oh, it can be tracked. I go, who said? I said, who said? They go, oh, America, they can find anybody's Bitcoin. I said, bullet beat. This is where I have an argument because I said, why do you believe this? Because they said so? Oh, because they found a few people's crypto? I said, the only reason they can find people's crypto is because it's on the blockchain. It was never meant to be anonymous. That's why there's a transaction hash to make sure I know you received it if I sent it to you. You know I received it, right? You received it because I sent it to you. We can both check the transaction ID hash. If there's no transaction ID hash, that means it was not completed and you did not receive it. Then I can say, hey, I didn't receive it, man. There's no transaction hash. So it was never anonymous in the standpoint of you can see transaction hashes. So this is why in America, they said, oh no, it's got to be regulated. You got to go through our USA regulated SEC, Central Exchange, to send and receive. Now they can track you. Because you signed up. You had to give your face. You had to give an ID. You had to give your address. They have you checked. Social Security, EINs, they know who you are. So at that point, anybody can track you if I have your info and your accounts. They're written already. I said, that's why they can track you. I said, now let me ask you something. If I send money from a wallet that you don't know that I have, that's not registered on the central exchange, and the money doesn't match up that I send out to some it, other location that's not on a centralized exchange in America or anywhere else around the world, it's not trackable. And they said, oh, yes, it is. I said, okay, explain something to me. Billions of dollars are lost every year in crypto. How come no government goes and grabs it if it was all trackable? I said, what you're saying makes zero sense. To me, it makes zero sense because I know how it works. There is no way they can track it. You can track it because I use a central exchange, but you ain't tracking it if you don't know the one that you sent out and you don't know the other end. You don't know either end of those, and it's in space. You're like, well, I see a transaction for $10 million, but who's this guy? Oh, that's not on the central exchange. Who's that guy? We don't see any other transactions coming from those places, nor even if we do, we see one or two more, but we don't know who they are. Why don't you know who they are? Because they didn't sign up anywhere. They're anonymous. That's how you're anonymous, not the transaction itself. All right, enough on my soapbox about that. All right. Mr. Orange sent ICE to calm down. Airport delay. Yeah, okay, they're standing there watching and terrorizing people, obviously, of course. And some are even not wanting to show their face. The good guys don't wear masks now. I guess we're going back to this, hoods and mask are the good guys, right? I guess this is how we're operating again, like it's 1800. I mean, this is insanity right now. But anyhow, this is costing, and speaking of the ICE guys, you guys know that costs $1 trillion as well. So you're spending $2 trillion on ICE and the military industrial complex, the two most expensive things, and we're broke. And then you pass the big, beautiful bill that's going to add $5 trillion over the next 10 years to the deficit. And in Trump's, he hasn't even went 2 terms yet. He's already put in 30% of the deficit is on his watch. 30% out of 200 and some odd years. He's put in 30% of the deficit. That's incredible. And it's rising. Because now we also have to fund other things like TSA and DHS and other things that they were trying to get funded. And that's going to be a problem. Joe Nay, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. Very happy to see you living that island life, man. He's here. Joe Nay. What's good, everybody? How is everybody doing this evening? I just smashed that like button. Give it a 1 piece. I love it. That's how we do it. By the way, Joe Nay, let me know what it's looking like in the gentrification of Pueblo Bavaro. Let me know, Bavaro. Let me know what Pueblo Bavaro looks like. Because they're trying to do the damn thing. I did see something, I gotta say. Jardines, they had an ad out that said $77,000. And I think it was for a 1-bedroom. Now, here's the funny part about the 77,000. They had like a discount. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 2 or 5,000. So anyhow, it doesn't matter. 77,000. Remember the golden rule, ladies and gentlemen, is 0.1%. So 77,000 times 0.1%. Let's see. Is $77 per night. I could have already done it, but I just want to let you guys know I'm putting it in a calculator. So now I'm going to times that by 7, which is 7 nights of a short-term rental because I'm in the short-term rental game. That's $539 for the week. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. $539 for the week that somebody could stay at Jardines. And the weird part is they do have a pool, they do have a basketball court, they do have this mini type kiddie playground thing. I think there's another pool too. But some of the features, that's standard everywhere. I like the mini mart. That is major and it's gated and there's a little fitness room and they have this pseudo stage thing. I don't know what that really would do, but it is what it is. It's out by a parking lot, but you know, people live behind it. But they may even have some other things there. I don't know. But the thing is, it's in a gentrification zone where they're building new things that has nothing to do with the beach, nothing to do with anything really. But they're making the area very nice. So opportunities could come, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have plenty of opportunities in my book. So this leads us back to the other factors. American chaos abroad means winning and losing is happening, and you need to pick up some of those losses and turn it into wins for you. All right. What are you going to do? Once again, we're going to go into some other factors: gold and commodities. That's during a recession or a war. Defense contract stocks, obvious defense sector, I should say, stocks, stable currencies. Again, people start going, well, what's stable currencies? Well, it could be another currency altogether. Not doesn't have to be the US dollar. The US dollar is not really stable. Sooner or later, it's going to be like it's 1932 all over again. All right? This is how it goes. They saved it once, they saved it twice in 2008, 2009, never changed anything, and we're right back where we are, except only worse because nothing was fixed. And the law of the land is not the law of the land anymore. The Constitution is being trampled all over, and regulations are being dismissed. Just like the Jones Act. Hey, if you're in Puerto Rico, if you're in the Virgin Islands, if you're in American Samoa, you guys, you should be on the phone with China, Japan, South America to make shipping deals for the next 70 days. Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Come on now. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. This is your chance to get that little thumb off of your neck along with that foot. You can make your own deals. Do you know what a lifetime opportunity this is? For once, you have an open window. And then, let's just get real. You know what you're supposed to do now. Come on. You know you're supposed to be making another deal. So after you do that, now you're going to say, all right, ship to our fellow friends after they close down the Jones Act for you guys because you are American territory. You're supposed to be making a deal with another island that's less than 100 yards, not 100 miles away. I'm just giving you a little tip. Come on, man. I used to eat these guys for lunch because they're mediocre, weak asses. Now, again, you got an opportunity because they opened the door. Take advantage. Okay, enough of my ranting. That's my motive. You know what? I think I'm going to make a video about this. I'll make a video about this, all right? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I went off the rails because once you understand the oppression that America has done, a lot of Americans don't realize what the Jones Act is. All right? The Jones Act has to do with if you're in the British Virgin Islands, the Puerto Rico, American Samoa, or any other American territory, you can't just have any ships come into your ports. You have to have American ships deliver the goods, which means the American ships can charge you more money. And that means your goods and services coming to the island cost more. Be very careful, Dominican Republic. You better pay attention, all right? Be very careful. So once again, that is why these American territories can't come up, because not only can they not just get shipping from anywhere like any state, they have, like Massachusetts is doing, right, for the gas. You can't do that, all right? Now they can do what Massachusetts is doing or any state in the union is doing. because they have lifted the Jones Act for 90 days. Trump has done that. All right. Now, don't give him credit. I mean, it ain't because of that. It's because of the war. And he has to release it because of the Strait of Hormuz. And they need oil, right? So now he's allowing ships that aren't American ships to deliver and things of this nature to come into certain ports. That's what we're talking about here. All right. Okay, I'm sorry to get excited about this because whenever I see openings like this, I just crack up because they always mess up. Because eventually, because of their BS, something always allows you to do something. But anyhow, that's enough. Joe, what's the gas price on the island? They're leaders. They're leaders. That's like $10 a gallon or something. Of course it's going to be high. They're on an island. That's out of control. All right, Eric, if Blue Marlin apartments are at $40 to $50 per night, it will be hard to find guests for Jardine for 77. Ah, hey, EV Place. Don't guess. We need to know, right? You know we can find out in less than 5 minutes. Okay? Just so everybody understands. Now, let me do something else. I've been told we're going to look at this draft age will go up to 42 years of age. You have been correct. Oh, by the way, oh my God, this turns into something else. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have me personally, I have disdain for this. I have serious disdain. I cannot respect a 5-time draft dodging trust fund kid now called commander-in-chief sending people to a war zone to die. That's number one. Second, I cannot deal with a 5-time draft dodger along with his cohorts who did the same thing, making it a draft age of 18 to 42 of able-bodied men. The draft dodgers. I'm like, what are we smoking out here right now? What the disrespect. Oh my God. And you guys are out here like, yeah, he's my man. What the, man, man, the pedo rapist. Come on, man. Okay, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I think about how America's like rah for this dude, fat piece of garbage person, human on the planet, but he's cool. What the? Do you know what this guy has done to people? Do you know what this guy has done to children? Do you? Oh God. Oh man, I can't even. All right, here we go. I have been told there are plans to pave the roads as the villas are built to alleviate traffic over here across from Jardines and on the side of Christopher. The road is pretty wide. Well, yeah, they had well, if they gentrified it, then and that brick wall that was over there on the right hand side coming down to Jardines, that was that looked like freaking third world country for sure at one time. If they changed that, then yeah, there would be a big lane that could hold 6 lanes wide over there. So that would be possible. Yeah, we're gonna go look at this right now. We're gonna go look at this. Mo Better's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Another investors in the house. It's Investors Row tonight. So let's see. I can't see what's going on. Why did this do this? This is interesting. Hold on now. What's up, SSN Nation? Is Mo's tagline. What's up, E? We in the building. That's right. Just smash that like button on the way in. That's right. Give it a 1 piece. In fact, give it a 3. No matter where you're watching from, make sure you hit the heart, the star, the check box. Whatever they got, make sure you do it, all right? I'm not trying to be on here all night, but we're going to get into it. Joe Nay. Why is this still on the screen? This is weird. Joe Nay. They also just finished the road next to Blue Marlin to the highway. Really? So Blue Marlin, you come out. No. You know. You mean by the international, right? Isn't that what it was called? The International Plaza or something? But it is pretty close. So yeah, I guess it would be right next to it, kind of close. But anyhow, yeah, that was how many lanes is it though? Did they make it 4 lanes? Because remember, you could always drive back through there, but it was only like a lane and a half in some instances, 2 lanes in another. So did they make 4 lanes or is it just 2 lanes, one in each direction, and it's clear? That's cool. They were already talking about that, and there's also going to be one next to Atlantida. Also, there's going to be a road that can lead out. They need all the roads they can get that leads out to the freeway because it's a cluster coming in there down that one road, which I don't know the name of. But that's pretty cool. All right. What's up, Joe Nay from Mo Better? Joe Nay says, I can say this. There are lots of guests staying here at Jardines. Constant flow of people coming and going with luggage. I know. This is what people don't understand. The first part of the equation is when somebody see this is the thing that people don't get. And what it basically is this. At one time, the 1 bedrooms at Jardines were 50K. And I think they might even been less before that. I think when they first came out, they were in the 40s. Then they moved up to 49, 52 or something. So you have to remember those people who bought early, like Joe Nay, these guys they're living on scot-free money coming in for life. The reason I always say this is because when you go and look at Jardines and you see, oh, it's only $350 for the week, people go 350 for the week, and I can stay in a 1 bedroom, and it has a pool, and it has a mini mart, and it's gated, and it's over here in this new section. Yeah, it's not maybe on the best side of town, but 350 for the week. I'll stay there. They have a shuttle that goes to the grocery store once or twice a week or something, and okay, I'll stay over there. And the grocery stores and restaurants are there, and then you can walk. Well, I don't know if it's safe, and I guess it's safe. You can walk there. So I'm like, if so, this is the thing. Mo, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here for this because this is not in a area that most people would consider good. The only reason anybody should consider it good is because if you can charge $350 to $400 per night, I mean, sorry, per week, you will probably have people staying there because they're going to go, well, it was going to cost me over here 700 or 800 for the week. My lifestyle is I don't need to be by the beach, but I would rather have the mini mart stores, walk around restaurants, ordinary neighborhood. There's something to be said. They have a pool. It's not like they don't have anything. They have the pool, the kiddie pool, the basketball courts. They got the mini mart, a fitness room. They got other rooms there too, but I don't know if what they're utilizing. And they have another pool in the back. So I mean, it's like that's what you would expect to pay for that. But here's the other problem. So now they go, oh, this other place. Like I'll use a perfect example. Since Mo's here, we talk separately amongst ourselves in another group, but on our WhatsApp. But the thing is, this is the thing. When you go stay at the beach, sure, you're at the beach. That's fine. But my position forever, because I was in the travel biz, I've been doing this for a long time. My position was when I stay at the beach or anybody stays at the beach, you have no amenities. So what if you have a pool? So what if you have the ocean? The island, if we're talking about islands, the island is surrounded by water. You can go to the beach anytime you want. It's not like you're blocked. So I don't really care about paying $1,800 to be near the beach when I can stay somewhere else for $400 and I can still get to the beach. It's not like I'm blocked. Yeah, it might take me 15 minutes to get to the beach. It might take me 10. But who cares at this point? All I know is when I want, and here's the other thing. I'm going to tell you what I used to tell everybody. because I used to answer the phones for the travel agency too. I used to answer the phones when I'm doing Airbnb and short-term rentals. I'm the one answering the phones when people are saying, I want to be by the beach. And then I give them the price. I say, okay, here, fine. You want to be on the beach? Ocean view? Cool. $350 per night. Back in the day. Right now, that's probably, well, it's probably not much more. But nonetheless, we'll just say it's not even that much in the DR. So whatever. The point is, a person goes $350. Okay, I'm gonna pay $2,300. I think that's what it is, somewhere around there. $2,400 for a studio, ocean view, and I would always tell them, I say, okay, listen, you're gonna sit in your room and watch the ocean. Is that your plan for your 7 days? No. I'm like, okay, so you're not really going to be sitting on your balcony for 7 days, right? So what are you going to be doing? Well, I'm going to the beach. Yeah, okay, right. You can go to the beach no matter where you stay, but what's that mean? You got a pool there, right? Right. I'm going to sit by the pool too and get some rays. I know you are. But I'm trying to get you to understand what's the big deal about being at the beach when you can be at the beach anytime. And by the way, I got another place that's like $800 for the whole week. So that's why I'm asking you. You want to pay $800 or do you want to be 5 minutes from the beach? Do you want to pay $2,400 or $850? And you're 5 minutes from the beach. And then obviously I always get to the next phase of it. I say, well, what about the amenities? They have a pool, they have a jacuzzi, they have a fitness room. I'm like, yeah, just like a hotel. So what? It's a resort though. Let's call it what it is. We got some maybe some pool table. Maybe we got a game room. So then I say, okay, that's cool. But see this other spot, basketball court, game room, mini golf, fitness room, snack bar, restaurant, right across the street, and a few others. And they're just like, what? I'm like, yeah, what? Okay, you can we can do the 2350, $2,400, or you can have the 850. Take your pick. And by the way, the 850 one's a 1 bedroom, full kitchen and all that. The studio, yeah, okay, it's good, great. They're like a 1 bedroom, yeah, with balcony, yeah. Okay, whatever. Talking about this is so funny because people oftentimes would go, wait a minute, I'm saving like $1,500 a month. You know what? Or $1,500 for that week. I think I can eat, drink, be merry, and go do some excursions, all for the same price because they already know they're going to go do excursions. And so now they're sitting there going, well, hell, I can spend $2,400 and do everything I wanted. That's what it boils down to. So that's why people will stay at the lower price properties. And we're about to prove it. I'm about to prove it. All right. We can prove if what I'm saying is true. There's air ROI. So we're going to go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, I'm chilling. Joe Nay says, I'm chilling at Mo. Of course he's chilling. Stock up with Larry Jones. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I like Stock Up with Larry Jones. Thank you for that donation. I humbly appreciate it because tonight we're talking about stocking up because when you have American chaos abroad, losing and winning becomes very, very easy when the stock market is going up and down and gyrating. You guys should be out there. I've already put in the Candlestick Trading Bible for everybody that should get into the stock market. But remember one other thing. Remember when there's a recession. Remember when there's a war. Remember there's opportunity everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to take advantage of it because you never know what's going to happen. Defense stocks, you can take advantage of. Oil stocks, gas, electrical, companies that issue it. You know what? Speaking of companies that issue it, the gas company in the state of Georgia, you sign a 1 or 2 year contract. Your contract expires. They don't call you up and say, hey, your contract expires. Can you believe they double the cost per therm if you don't have a contract? Double, ladies and gentlemen. So your bill was 150 bucks, but now your bill is 300 bucks for the same therms. And there's nothing you can do about it. They make hand over fist. That's why a lot of people used to invest in electric and gas and utility companies because they have a built-in profit every year. So you might want to consider that. Defense stocks, one again. And by the way, I forgot out. Here we go. Stock up with Larry Jones. Blessings, brother. Thank you so much. You came up, so I watched for a few, and I like your energy. Be blessed. Thank you so much, man. Once again, I humbly appreciate that donation, and very nice to see you. I think I've heard or seen of a Larry Jones before, which is kind of funny because I don't really keep track of other people. But since you put this Larry Jones name, I think you came up before when I was scrolling through YouTube. So once again, I have to say, if the man has any channel out there and he has videos, go show some love, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go. And I humbly appreciate it once again. I went through some back roads and got to Vistacon in 5 minutes from Jardines, 20 minutes going the regular way. I know, man. I know. I told people this a long time ago. I went to Christopher in 2020. I told people back then, they told me when we drove out to Christopher, they called that, even though I didn't know where we were at, they just said, they called it kind of like Verone. And they said, oh man, you got to wait to see all these projects out back. They were pointing out back, not towards the main road, but they were pointing like out back. And all I see out back was, dude, that looks like a dead end down there. And by the way, it looks like a whole bunch of trash down there at the dead end. These dudes have lost their mind. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what are they smoking? Come to find out, it ends up being there's a way to go out back, like Joe Nay just said. He confirms it. That's what they were saying 6 years ago. And so it's happening. But you know what we're going to need, right? We're going to need more people to come to the island. Guests from Jardines are walking to Olay, Bavaro Center, like it's no thing. I would say it's very safe. Also, the pool is packed most days, especially on Sundays. Exactly. And again, the brilliant thing they did, which I love it. I was there with Joe Nay last year, and they were saying, oh, we're going to have a restaurant in the back. And I was like, what? You don't put a restaurant around here. You need a mini mart. If anything, not saying they listen to me, but we were just having a conversation. I was like, man, forget the restaurant. They should have a mini mart over here, because if you have people stay, they don't want to have to go down to a restaurant at 8 at night, 9 at night, when they can just drop down to the mini mart, grab some stuff, go back and eat at the room. Good to go. And they did the damn thing. They put in a mini mart, which is much more of an attraction than a restaurant, because now that gives people the ability to go to restaurants if they choose, or if they forget and it's 9 at night, they're like, oh my God, I can go down here and get some food right on. No big deal. In the complex. That goes a long way. That's another one of the reasons why people are going to stay there, because they have the basic amenities that you can get at a hotel, and the hotels even charge 140 to 200 per night. So that's what we're talking about here. So we're going to go do this, because we're going to get off on the American Chaos thing, because you guys know how I go off. Post-retirement travel, Mr. Worldwide 2 is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Get me excited because he's out here doing the damn thing. You know what? Post-retirement travel. Ladies and gentlemen, he's traveling around the world. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Click on his name. He's going to have to start showing some videos. All I'm saying is, this man said he's going with the big boys. He said he's going to Cap Cana to invest. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. On the water in Cap Cana. You guys know I love upscale luxury, but I just can't for the life of me. I'll have to tell him since he's here. I've run some numbers. I don't see how we can do the 330, 340, 350 right now, even if it is 5 years from now. I don't see it. But it is upscale luxury, so you do have a huge advantage because the price value of the unit itself is going to increase. But in 2029 or 2030, will we be able to get our 0.1% price for short term rentals? Or will we be able to get, I don't know what you would charge if somebody would do long term. Will that happen? I don't know. He's making a big, is it really risky? Kind of, but kind of not, only because we know upon delivery it should be worth more than 330, 340. In fact, it will be. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be. So so he's not going to lose money in reality because he'll be able to decide once it's built when he can sell it for whatever, 500, 600, whatever it may be, because they're doing the damn thing at Cap Cana too, making a highway so they can exit out faster than they have before. And they've they've rerouted the traffic. So all of a sudden that becomes its own city by its own rights. It's going to be very, very interesting what they do. All right, Eric, what would you choose to rent, a one-bedroom apartment at Jardines or a one-bedroom penthouse at El Cortecito? Similar price per night. Let's say they have similar amenities. It's you're on the money. If I'm staying in okay, El Cortecito, and we're talking about the same 539 per week, I would probably choose one bedroom penthouse if it fits. I agree with your assessment of that. This is very true. But the other thing that I'm going to say is you have entered into where you don't know where a person wants to be. Just because you say, hey, it's by the beach and it's El Cortecito, other people go, I don't want to be over there. I'd rather be over there. See, areas matter. And of course, the number one area in Punta Cana is El Cortecito and Los Corrales. For now. For now. They lost a few points last year. It was 71% the prior year for occupancy rate in Los Corrales, El Cortecito area for a studio unit, and a one bedroom was like 68%. Now they dropped under 70, so it's like the one bedroom is 68% or 69%, and the studio is 68, 69%, and the one bedroom's like 66%. They slipped. The only reason they're going to slip, this is going to be natural because there was no other place to stay before. Now people are going, well, I'll just stay downtown. And downtown, they have people who bought studios for 50 grand, 60 grand. So now they're going, well, you can stay at my spot downtown for 450, 475 for the week. And then people are doing the same thing. They're going, well, there's the mall downtown, there's the Jumbo downtown, the shopping center, there's Caribbean Lake, even though it's pricey. But the fact is, oh, and there's the fitness room, and then there's, all this, the Coco Bongo and all these other little things, the tennis courts, whatever. Attractions are all right there. So now it's not like you're isolated like before. So people are going to say, this is where I want to be, regardless of where you are. Like, I'm one of those people. I don't really care where I stay to a certain extent. All I know is if somebody does say, to your point, EV Place, if somebody says, hey, Eric, do you want to stay downtown? And let's just say it's $500 for the week. Okay. And so then they go, but Eric, you can stay in Los Corrales, $500 for the week. For me, since I don't need to be any particular place, I like Los Corrales. La Bruja, right? So I'm staying in Los Corrales. That's where I'm staying. I'm not going to stay anywhere else. Other people are going to reverse it and say, well, I don't care about that. I want to be closer to all this stuff down here, downtown, so I'm going to stay downtown. So That's why they're going to keep losing a point or two every year, because downtown will exist when it didn't exist before. See, that's the problem. Vista Cana didn't exist before. All these new places didn't exist. Los Corrales El Cordecito was all by itself, along with the all inclusives. Now they have competition, and people that bought in Los Corrales El Cordecito don't believe there's competition, but that's not how it works. Not everybody's looking to be right up the street from the beach with limited amenities. That's why people will pay thousands more to stay in all inclusives. All right, here's what we're going to do. But to your point, you are right. For me, I'm staying in your spot. If we're talking about the same price, even if it costs $50 more, I will stay over there because I like La Bruja. I like going down to Old Republic. I like being able to walk to the beach in 5 minutes. I mean, let's get real. I like all of that. If I'm going to the beach, right? I like the beach clubs over there. I like all of it, right? So, and I like the grocery store, right? I mean, the pharmacies. I know, you know where everything is. It's like right here. I can go pay the electric bill right here. You know, there's no craziness that needs to happen. But I stayed downtown just to see what it was like. But that was like 2 years ago at Central Park. And 2 years ago at Central Park, it was a drag. There's nothing downtown. So once you're used to what you like, I'm not staying downtown. But now downtown might have some more amenities, right? But anyhow, the point is we're going to go find out in a second. We're not just going to leave everybody hanging. I'm going to leave you in suspense a little bit longer. Make sure you guys smash that like button because we're going to go to Air ROI and we're going to go look at some things. All right. Now, there's something that happened why I couldn't log on earlier, so that's why we got late. All right. So just keep that in mind. Okay, first off, you got to invest in yourself, right? Your health. You're going to have to make investments in the stock market. There's no way around it. The millionaire, billionaire class, that's what they pump up. They make sure that work. That is the Federal Reserve's job, to make sure the stock market runs higher, hot, and then cold, because they know the rich guys are making trades either way. That's why you need to get in the game. Like I always said, when the rich guys are doing something, you need to be doing the same thing. All right? Now, I wish I could tell you guys what I'm working on, but I'm not going to say anything right now. All right? Because I'm not going to do it. I wonder if the math is being done. 5,000 Marines, 2,000 paratroopers, 610,000 Iran, aka Persian soldiers, plus 350,000 in reserve. Damn near impossible to invade Iran. Exactly. This is why, from a strategic standpoint, what would you do? Which is a death sentence. And by the way, the guy on the Navy ship, they sent over to their mom what they served them. Just so you guys understand, they served them surf and turf. Steak was a big fat steak. I mean, a big fat lobster steak. Jonay, I I know you know what this means. So let's get down to strategies, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Just like when you invest, you start calculating the numbers, just like Jonay just came up with these numbers, right? Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear from you after you see this. Do you think that's a good play? Now, let's just say you don't know anything about this. There are islands off the shore of Iran in the Strait of Hormuz, right? One is called Karj. So, Karj can still be bombed and it's mined and it's rigged. So, what I'm trying to figure out is who's going to protect these guys on an island. This is like draft dodger dumbass 101. I mean, who the hell? I mean, okay, so let's just, first of all, it's an island that can be attacked. Okay? So how are you going to just show up and be good? You're not. All right? That's the first problem, but that's what they're talking about doing first. Second of all, the reason why nobody's really attacked Iran and has been very successful at it is because the way the terrain of the land is. It starts sloping up. So now you get boxed in. There is no D-Day, all right? There's no D-Day. There's no thousands of anybody coming ashore on the beach, okay? And getting away with a few of them getting through. That's not happening here, all right? You got a long way to go. And you're going to be targets on the whole trip up, all right? So this is stupid. And they have this on two fronts of their country. So when you start talking about putting boots on the ground, talking about Iran, you've lost your ever loving mind. All right, all right, all right. Enough, enough. I'm acting like the strategist, right? But the point I'm trying to make is this American chaos is good for you. All right. This is why I put in my CoinEx, right? Oh, by the way, I put my CoinEx link in because of the thing about, this is America. You got to know where you live. So let me put it in here again. You want to get a trading account? It's an outside offshore broker account. They allow crypto to be uploaded, and the beauty of it is they send the crypto down using a different account. And since it's a different number, nobody knows who it is, except they can probably say, well, it might be these guys. Okay, great, but they don't know who's the receiver. I love that, especially when you're not sending back to a central exchange. Who's the receiver? We don't know. Hey, we need your records. F you. I'm not from your country. So sad, too bad. Bye bye. Get out of here. This is funny. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about right now. All right. Post-retirement travel says stock market ready to take off. That's right. Once we sell this conflict with Iran, I'm buying daily, doing DCA. Exactly. This is exactly right on time. Because this is what you should do, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be shy out here. If you have disposable income to make investments, do not be shy. When you have these up and down days, the down days, you should be buying more. That's all I'm saying. I agree with this 110%. You have no choice. It's just going to be just like the pandemic, just like any other war. Chaos matters. Blood's in the street. And if they send troops over there, this is going to be bad news. And this means buying opportunities will come in your face, but you got to be ready. Oh, EV Place. I was at both places in November, still not decided whether to walk through Pueblo Bavaro at nighttime, but maybe it's only me. Hey, EV Place. That's why I said, hold on. When I walk through, I agree with you 110%. But Joe Nay says guests are staying there. They're going up the street to Olay and going up the street to the shops. No problem. And I will say this, like I said, in 2020, there's no way I would have been walking over there at nighttime by myself. All right. I don't even care if it's me. Yeah, nobody might have messed with me, but the point is, why take the chance? Let's get real. All right. I agree with you. Post-retirement travel. My brother's one-bedroom swim-up units at Conner Rock is doing very well. 80 plus. He has an outstanding property manager who has over 25 years experience working at various resorts there. Furniture is key. See, this is what we discussed before. And I'm very happy that he's getting his 80+% at Conner Rock because that is very, very hard. Very hard to do. Now, here's the thing. So, post-retirement travel, you know I'm a man for details. I know you're saying 80%, but without knowing what that means, what the purchase price was, and what he's charging per night, without that information, we can't determine if it is a good deal. Right? I mean, his purchase price. And if we're really investors, we always go purchase price. I like the 0.1%, but ultimately we got to buy furniture. But his unit, his brother's unit looked awesome. The decorator did a fantastic job. She knocked it out the park, ladies and gentlemen. Man, she hit all of the things that we've talked about over the years with designing your interior of your place. And that does go a long way when somebody's going to rent a place, and they will pay more money. Just so you guys know, remember I told you upscale luxury locations, and you want somewhat of an upscale furnishing. of your unit. Clean. Place where people go, oh man, I want to just chill there. That's what you want, and apparently he's got it. Now, we need to know the numbers. But 80% means he wins. I think. We don't know the numbers though. Because we don't know what the purchase prices were. We don't know what he's charging per night, even though I do have a link to it, but can't bring it up right now. All right, let's go. My point is Los Corrales can't hold 50% occupancy at 60 to 70 per night for a one bedroom. It will be hard to get 0.1% at Jardine for a 77K investment. Okay, we're going to find out. Don't worry, Air ROI exists. Okay, we're going to find out. Because here's what I'm just going to tell you right now. Only because you brought this up, me and Mo have talked about this, and I actually put in Airbnb. You know what? Let me go look at something. I might still have them. I did something like July 3rd through the 10th, and I did something like April 4th through the 11th, something like that. And I was shooting pictures of Airbnb where prices are nearly the same for everybody over closer to the water than you are. And they were getting nearly the same prices. It wasn't that far off. And guess what else? The occupancies weren't that far off either. So we're going to be able to check. Let me see if I still have them. I think I erased them. Just today, in fact. I was like, man, why do I still have these? I don't need them. Yeah, it looks like I erased them. Oh, wait. Actually, it's not erased. Hold on. I know where to go find it. Let me go look it up. Let me go look. Let's go look. Let me see if I can pull some stuff up. I don't know if we were talking about Capcana, though. Might have been talking about Capcana because I was talking about this, too, with post-retirement travel doing the 330, 340K for the one bedroom, even though it's large. That was... there's no... Again, delivery in 2030 is needed. Let's just put it that way. All right, we're not going to have to do it. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. We can go look it up. We're going to go look this up. Now, here's where my assessment of the situation for overall in DR anyhow. First of all, we have an oversaturation of units, hotel and short-term rentals. So in my mind, there should be a decline in occupancy rates. Now, just like post-retirement travel, he says his brother has the 80% occupancy. That's great. But if the island generally has a 35% occupancy, that means he has 80%, but that means somebody else is going to have like a 2%. And that's going to be a couple of people. So that's where this goes when you have less visitors. They're having more visitors. But are they the visitors that's going to be staying at a short-term rental or a long-term or a all-inclusive? That is the thing. So without further ado, we're going to go over here and look. Let's go look. My brother paid 120K, so that means it's a one-bedroom. He rents for an average of 110 to 130 per night. Beautiful. There is no loan. HOA is about 150 per month. He's getting on average the 1.2. He's getting his 0.1%. That's a winner. I thought that was Universe. I thought he was in Universe was that cheap. Right on. Okay. Congratulations to him because he wins on appreciation. And if he's getting 80%, that's big time. That is big time. Because here's where, okay, there's more to the story. But I won't get into the more to the story. So what happens, I'm just curious, anybody own it, Connor Rock, what happens when you have guests stay there and they want to go to the beach? This is what I want to know because nobody talks about this. I want to know about that. That's one of the things I want to know about what happens when the people say, hey, do they still have it where you got to pay $35 per person to get through to the beach club to go to the beach? Let me know. Because that is another that's very interesting. And he's getting 80%. And you can't go to the Hard Rock unless you pay. And there's limited amenities even there, and you have to leave to go do anything almost, unless you go to the casino or nightclub or a couple restaurants that they allow you to go in at Rock. So let me know what you guys think. All right, that'd be greatly appreciated about that. And then we're going to go check this out. All right, let's go to our ROI just to go do the thing. And post retirement travel, is he getting 80% during January through April 15th? Or are we talking about 80% is what he got last year, starting whenever he started last year until December 31st? What's the time frame that we're talking about? Because, where are we at? Okay, we're going to Punta Cana. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get there. We're going to, yeah, we'll just do it this way. No, I really don't want to be in Hige, but we're going to use the map. Let me do some things on the background. I'm going to do USD, and here, let me put this on screen so everybody can see it. All right, PRT, what's the fee for management? Exactly. Yes, $35 fee per person. You can use it for food or drinks. Yes, okay, so they do have that. Right. So people have to pay extra for that, which is very interesting. But people pay it, right? Now, this is this is so fascinating that he's getting that great high rate of return, because two people, they got to pay $70 each time, and the drinks are, they are 18 bucks, 17 bucks last time I was there. So yeah, they're going to spend the $35 and a little more than likely. But the fact of the matter is, that's I don't, I think that's every time you go, every day is what I'm saying you go. I don't know if they give you a day pass for that or not. I don't even know what they do now. So, but thank you, EV Place. And then what's the management fee? Isn't it 20 or 25%? So here's what we'll do. I'm just going to do it. I can't believe it would be 80% all year round, but it's possible. So I can do 365 times 80%. That's 292 days times 120. That would be highly successful, because that'd be $35,000 times, we'll just go 20%. Management fee might be higher. That's 7 G's. So we're down to roughly 28 G's. So he's still well ahead of the numbers naturally at 80%. That's rivaling the hotel. By the way, the first 2 months of this year, 83% hotel occupancy and 85, I believe it was, for the month of February occupancy rate. So that's rivaling the hotel occupancy rate, which again is astonishing. All right, so that's 28 G's. And then it doesn't matter about HOAs. HOAs is whatever. $2 a square meter. I don't know how big the place was. So let's just say 150 bucks. So again, we're talking about 1,800. So again, he's making out like a bandit. If those numbers are correct or close to it, that's 26 G's. And if it's 5% more, then so be it. But we're talking about 2 G's less. So 120, he'd be doing 20% if he can have an 80% for the year. That would be awesome. That would be sweet. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what you do. One of the ways you can check, because I love Air ROI. This is free, by the way. I'm just hitting I just went there, Google, put in Hige, and when I did that, no. Let's do it this way. Let me change this up. All right. Check this out. This is what the map looks like. So we go over here, we do this map, and I can find first, hold on. Let's go. First of all, I cannot find. I cannot find. Let's see. There it is. I don't know where the uh, the place that EV place has. Okay, so here's El Cordecito, Los Corrales, right here. This El Alemania Road. Okay, we're gonna zoom in, see if we can find some spots here. Where's the spots? Okay, maybe it'll take a minute to populate. What's going on? I don't see anything here. Why are we not getting anything? Why are we only getting one spot? Here goes Ocean View Beachside Penthouse with private pool, 58.4% occupancy, 204 daily rate. Okay, where's the rest of them? What's happening? What's going on? Do I have to do something different? Oh, there we go. Boom. Holy smokes. Okay. Jesus. That's a ton. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, eesh, this is wild. Okay, look. You can see what daily rates are down here by in this Los Corrales, 87, 100 per night, stunning ocean view. That's 7% occupancy for 100 a night ocean view. And you walk out and you're at the water. That's like, looks like Stanza Mar right there. Another Stanza Mar, 177 a night. Ocean view. Yeah, that is Stanza. Oh yeah, Stanza Mar. That's it. That looks like another one. 177 per night. This right here is near La Bruja. Just so everybody knows. This right here is down the back road, and they're charging 115. But these two bedrooms are awesome. They're pretty nice. They're about 900. They're done cool. I always like where you have off the bedroom and you have the bedrooms on separate sides at least. It's pretty cool, but it's only 6.6% occupancy. Another one closer to the. Hold on, let me show you guys. Close. This is the water right here. Okay, this is 4.4% occupancy at 117 per night. 3.6% occupancy. 3% occupancy. 18.4. Get this off the screen. 18.4. Look, they're in this area right here. Here's the beach. You're still close, but 1820. See, again, numbers don't lie, right? Here goes one. 83.3 luxury penthouse with private rooftop at the beach. $187. Okay. 83.3. But again, here's Playa Turquesa. That's at the beach. You can walk to the beach from here, but they don't care. It's 28% occupancy. 19.5 exclusive beachside condo, 4-bedroom. Okay, 150 a night, 238. Okay, let's go find. I don't know if I can find this because I really can't remember where. If I'm not mistaken, let's see. It should be. That's Los Salos. It should be right in here, right? Let's go look. It should be right in here. Somewhere in here. I'm going to try and get close to. There's 50 per night. That's not it. I wish I knew where exactly it was. Because we went down there at nighttime. In the evening time. I know it's not in Los Salos. It should be like right here, though. If I have the place. No, that's Coral Village. Okay, hold on. That means I'm not where I think I am. That's Noval. That's not where I want to be. Oh, here we go. No wonder I couldn't find it. Okay, here we go. It should be out here, right? No, that's not it. Get out. No, that's not it. Let's see. Gorgeous. Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's see. Did we come out here? Come over here. Let's see. Yeah, I've never looked it up, so I can't find it. Should have been around in this area. Well, I'm sorry, EV Place. Looks like I'm not. Oh, wait. This is it right here. Okay, here it is. It's right over here. $54 per 65 per. Okay, we found it. I think this is it. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is definitely it. They have them ridiculous stairs outside. Okay, 5.8 at 65, 27.9% at 71 per night. Yep, Blue Marlin Block A. It's not a penthouse though. 54. Not many for rent though. No, I don't know. Let's go. Sweet. No pictures. Guys, this is a lesson right here. See these pictures that they show the bedroom? You should actually be showing a pool shot, partial pool shot. You should be showing something that's better than just a living room or a bedroom, all right? This is just silly. Look, all these people doing this crazy stuff. You should show something that's appealing so people when they come on vacation, they see it. But all I'm trying to point out, 30, okay, let's go see who this is. I think it's around 40%. Let's go. Let's see. Who are you? Oh, this is it. The highest rated one. It's only $47 daily rate. Poolside condo near Los Corrales. $60. But the occupancy rates are 39. Obviously at $50 a night. And here's $60 a night, but that's only 1.6. So there's only a few rentals that's showing up. 65 a night, listing near the beach. Okay. That's 0.5. But nobody has the wait. P1. $71 per night, 27.9 occupancy. Let's go. Let's see what P1. Do we have anything else? 32%. You are -10, so they're at 29%. The area has a 39% occupancy, just so everybody understands. All right, so we really can't get a. There's only a limited amount available. This is what's going to happen at the other side too. All right, so that's the first thing. So you see what the rates are. They range they're not that far out of whack. 66, all in these ranges. But again, getting a higher occupancy rate than 25 to 40% is going to be very interesting. 5.8% again. That's going to be very interesting. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. You know where we're going next. All right. We're going to go to Pueblo Bávaro. All right. Let's see. I think we cross here. This should be it, right? Is this it? Yeah, there it is. Pueblo Bávaro. We're in here somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go look. Okay, here we go. So, no, we're going to be over here. Okay, this one right here. $46 per night. Jardines 3, 24.4. Okay, that's Christopher. We're not going to look at Christopher. We'll just stay with Jardines. Okay, let me go find Jardines. Okay, it's over here. Good, we can get closer. Oh, they have a lot more listings now. People getting excited in this area? Where's this at? Okay, no, wait. I thought that was Christopher. Okay, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is Christopher too. $71 per night, 19.5%. This doesn't look too different than what we're seeing over at the spot, right, EV Place? Well, actually, this $46 one, it either has, this is probably a one bedroom, since it's that. That's another Christopher. Okay, cool. I mean, Jardines. That's not. Let's get back to it. Christopher's across the street, so it's got to be over here, right? Too many of these, right? Let's go look. It's too many. Let's go see. Do we have this anywhere? There it is, right there. Okay, here we go. More Jardines. No, that's not in our Jardines. I don't know where that is. That's not it either. Nope. That's the one we already saw. That's Christopher. So I guess they're all in the same area, so we're gonna have a problem. Christopher's like across the street. People aren't marking their places. $63 a night, 27.7. Okay, 5.2. Can't tell. Again, showing your rooms is no good for anybody. I don't understand. Just like what I'm doing right now. Nothing. Nothing. Don't know where this is. But 29% occupancy at Christopher across the street. But the point I'm trying to make is this looks like the same prices, the same type of occupancy rates, regardless in this neighborhood that does not is not up the street from the beach. 7.4, okay. 105. See, that's a bit much. That's sleep 6. Okay, cool. Yeah, a bit much. 112 near Coco Bongo. That's crazy. No, it's not. Wi-Fi security pool. Oh man, these guys making me have to do all kind of crazy. I can't find any. Do not do these type of pictures. This is crazy. This is actually what it looks like on their Airbnb. That's Christopher again, $54, 3.3 interest. Info. Pool breeze. Okay. We can't go any further. It looks like Christopher, $91 a night. 59% at $63. So all this proves is, see, these guys have the same occupancy rates as if they were staying at in Los Corrales. 27.7. We just don't have the 80 something yet, but you still got the same similar thing. If anybody thinks it's way different, let me know. Here goes another Christopher, 36 at $79 per night. 9.3, not anything to write home about. 16.8, we can't go that route. I don't know. Let's see what's on the other street. Okay, can't see it. Forget about it. This is somewhere else, $42, 20%. So it's not that far out of whack, in my opinion. We can look deeper into it, but it's a live stream. So let me know what you guys think. There you go. Let me know what you think. It's right there. Okay, if you're doing Cap Cana, look for the apartment rentals around the marinas. You get more per night there. My brother is at Cana Rock Universe. Isn't completed yet. Oh, no. No. There is no way. I can just tell you right now, unfortunately, post-retirement travel, I don't know what you're looking at. I'm hoping you did ROI, but you already put down your 10%. There isn't hardly anybody getting $300 per night around the marina. There's nothing. Okay, I am one of those that I have to say the Cap Cana experiment is it's upscale luxury and it only applies to certain people. I don't think it's a place where, for sure, if you're trying to do it for money making ventures, I don't think it's that, in my opinion, because the prices now are too high. You're having to spend 300 G's and there's nobody getting hardly 300 per night in this marina area. Like, you're going to see it here. The marina is easy to spot. Let's see. I think I'm in the marina. I thought it was easy to spot. All of a sudden, it's not. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, this is it right here. So, This should be the village right here, fishing lodge, right? Again, what's up with these guys? Okay, look, Cap Cana Marina, 43% occupancy, 204. So again, that it doesn't meet the criteria. It's 204 daily rates. Look, here, I don't need to do this. 8.8% occupancy, 227, definitely in the fishing lodge. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 227. Again, that doesn't bode well at this juncture, right? There's too many of these. Look, 123, 236, 21% occupancy. This is 731. Okay, that's crazy. Why? 504, sea view, 2 bedroom. Okay, 3.6 occupancy. Again, this isn't. Let's go over here to this. This is water, I believe. 378, luxury apartment facing Cap Cana. Here goes one that may be of interest. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Huge unit, 378 a night, 31.5, and they are, I guess, kind of at the marina. I don't know. We have one. Let's go with another one that's by the water. Daily rate. This is a villa, so can't count that one. This is apartment 284, 29% occupancy. Kind of close. Kind of close. But this is 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, not a 1 bedroom. So again, 2 bedrooms are 280 something. That's what it seems to be. So 1 bedrooms aren't going to be commanding 2 something. Maybe in 2030 it might match, but that's a big if, because you're going to have to keep getting increases in tourist numbers. You're going to have to increase like another 2 million or 3 million tourists by the time 2030 comes. If that tourist number levels off and more units are built, even in Cap Cana, even upscale, you're not going to be able to command high. It's not going to be worthwhile, in my opinion. I don't see how this could be. If we're doing 2 bedrooms and it's 2026, I just can't. I just can't wrap my head that this would be 400. That's 400 per night with an increase in occupancy. And this is a 2 bedroom. A 1 bedroom has to be less than this. So let's just say well, I'm not going to say anything. We'll just find one. Let's just see if we can find something. Let's see if we can find a 1 bed. Oh, you know what I should have done? I could have done this. Let me put in a filter. So this will be more realistic. I should have just done this. 4 guests, 1 to 4 bedrooms, 1. That'll minimize this, and occupancy 4 max. 4 beds, 2 bathrooms. I'll even put 2 max. 2. All right, let's go. We'll narrow this down to 1 bedrooms, I hope. No, it didn't happen. I got to take something off. Let's go look. What do I have to take off here? I'll just go 10. What happened? Should have had something, right? All right. Go real 4. Minimum guest 1. Max bedrooms 1. Occupancy 4 max. 2 baths. What's happening? Reset. All right. Maximum bedrooms 2. Guest 4. Why are we having an issue? Okay, there we go. So here we go. Now we have the 1 bedrooms. This one right here, beachfront. right? 260. 260 and 20% occupancy. Beachfront, 214, 9.9. Paradise Cove, also water, but 156, 9.3. This is easier. 119, walk to marina, 31% occupancy. Beach studio, okay, studio, but studio is 165. Yeah, these are great rates. They're gonna win if they purchase way cheaper. Studio 109, right by the water. King bed 233, right by the water. This is a prob. I mean, 260, 5.2% occupancy does nobody no good at this moment. Two bedroom, 281, beach access. These are all right by the water. 504, but somehow it's a two bedroom. Sea view apartment, two bedroom, 504. 134. All of these have like water views. 262, ocean front. Yeah, ocean front's always expensive. 20% occupancy though. That's a studio. One bedroom, 207, but again, right by the ocean. We're not back here. Fishing lodge, $88 a night. 50% occupancy. This is like I said, I don't know how you move back, and here's 284. Which, but see, that's a two bedroom, two bath right now. So a one bedroom could be 284, 300. I don't know. I just find that leap. I can't see that leap because I'm looking right here. Even though it's only one bedroom, one bath, not one bedroom, one and a half, I still get water view. I don't get ocean view, but the guy charges 135 per night at the moment. It might be 200 per night. This is why I can't see the 300 number. But then again, 2030 is 4 years from now. The occupancy over in average is 39%, by the way, in Cap Cana, just so everybody understands. So that's the average for the area. So that means some people are getting 80%, some people are getting 2%, 3%, something like that. So, or some are doing what? Yeah, that's about right. Divided by two. 39 is 78. So some people's getting 70%, other people are getting 8%. So it's all over the map, as you can see over here on the right hand side. Here goes some more. One bedrooms, 183. One bedroom, two bath. It's a loft right by the water. And they're only charging 183 a night with the 5.8% occupancy. So numbers don't lie. 161. Hold on. There's a 246 right here. But again, it's two bedrooms, even though it's one bath, but it's up by the water, and they're charging 246. They can. It's right by the water, so they'll get a little more. 480 ocean. Okay, we can't deal with oceanfront. That's always going to be premium. That's premium stuff. 179 two bedroom Palmyra. It's going to be difficult to be back there and then say 300. 170 at 64, 248, 297. Ocean, we can't go. Well, okay. They got 6% occupancy at 297. This is the number for right now. You need to be 300 a night, but you're only going to get a low occupancy rate if that place was available right now. You're not going to be able to get 300 back from here. I don't see how. And you don't want to have 6% unless that's what you want to do. 243. Yeah, I don't, at this point, we're 4 years away. If they delivered on time, if we still have tourist numbers increasing. But if the tourist numbers, they're going to have to increase to about $1 million a year. I don't know if that's going to happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. I'm pretty sure we got a lot to talk about. PRT Universe Building 8. All right. If you want amenities, there's nothing like Cap Cana. Post-retirement travel. I don't know what amenities you mean. I gotta just tell you, I don't know what you mean by these amenities. Let me know what amenities you're talking about, because that's one of my things about Cap Cana. I love Cap Cana. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's spacious, it's actually designed properly if you want to put in a great place to stay or live. But we call amenities here when you walk out your door, there's things that you can do that don't cost you any money. Those are amenities. I don't count the Blue Hole or whatever they call it as an amenity. I don't count the water park as an amenity. I don't count the marina an amenity. I don't count the restaurant and bars and all that stuff amenities. I need to see something where you roll out and they go, okay, here's your, which they do have. They have a tennis court area. They have a, I think, pickleball area. They have, but again, horseback riding, you got to pay. So with Vista Cana, you have to pay too. You have golf, you have to pay. At Vista Cana, you got to pay. And anywhere there's a golf course, you have to pay. I don't know what the amenities are. I mean, they just had a tennis, the one of the ATP tennis, I think it was, and they had a tournament there. And people that live at Cap Cana, from what I understand, on a few days they could get in for free, which, if you call that an amenity, it is, because that would be a perk, right? But there's nothing that you roll out in other than something like that came, and I think it already went, but that's okay. But there's no place, as far as I know, where they go, okay, here's the sports complex, and it doesn't cost you anything. But then again, it's upscale luxury. Generally, in upscale luxury, they always have memberships, right? And that's why nothing over there is really amenities as we know them. I don't, that's one of the things I don't understand, how you have all this upscale luxury and then they tell everybody, oh, yeah, well, you're going to have to pay to come to our spot. And you're paying a premium price to live there, and HOA fees, and whatever else is with it for these beautiful beaches, beautiful places. But amenity wise, I'm trying to figure, you know what, let me just Google it, because I don't know what they are. Because again, people say amenities, and I'm like, what are you talking about? The whole island does have the water, so I'm like, and I'm not counting these golf courses as amenities, right? Same rules apply. Like Mo may be still listening, just like Larimar. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, okay, one golf course is cool. Two, what are you smoking? There's no reason. You're not making a PGA design golf course. If you were making a PGA design golf course, which, by the way, that's what Larimar should have done. I gave them the advice. They didn't want to listen, so they're dumbasses, but that's fine. Because otherwise, you have no reason for people to come all that way that often. So you're going to have golf club, school, golf club, or whatever, low tours. But they have, in Punta Cana, it just by itself, you probably have 20 golf courses you can choose from to hold events. So why are you going to hold them in one location when you can just go over to Cap Cana or the PGA one, the Punta Cana, what is it, Corrales golf course? And there's tons of them. So a golf course is cool, but they got like 4 of them over there, maybe 5. That's crazy. And they have the 5-star hotels. Now, I don't call those amenities. You know what I did? I went to go look up what they consider amenities for Cap Cana, because I don't get it. So all I get is what normally would happen on an upscale luxury location. Upscale luxury means you pay more for an upscale environment, and you don't mind paying to go do everything else. And maybe your HOA even gives you like a a credit, right? If you show up, you get 15% off, whatever, because you live here, kind of thing. But it's gated. So they claim beaches, for instance. I'm like, yeah, okay, they're on the island. Again, I'm not saying there's anything bad with Cap Cana. I like what they're doing. If you're gonna live there, now you'd have to consider get in now before the prices go higher, because they're gonna go higher, right? Because they're not doing crazy stuff. They're not outbuilding themselves. They have restaurants, they have bars, they have shopping, they have everything that you want if you are a tourist. If you live there, then you have to be just like a tourist. You pay for almost everything you want to do. Okay, I am looking for, here we go. Golf, fishing, polo, skate park, yachting, fitness and sports, learning sports, culinary experience, fitness facilities, beauty salon, spa. I'm not seeing these as, that's the thing that's a little bit depressing, but it's not really depressing. In upscale luxury locations, you don't mind that because that keeps your values. So I can't be mad. All right, beach club is too small to handle all the residents. They're doing this fee on purpose. Exactly, I know. I know. You're exactly right. They have no choice. They have probably over 1,000. There is 1,000 units there. There's no way they can have 2,000 people at the beach club. Let's just call it what it is. So and that fee is actually going to rise. As more people move there, they're going to increase the fee. Because they still have Poseidonia, Riviera Bay, Oasis Lake, or whatever it's called. They still have Universe, Galaxy to finish. That's 1,000 more people by themselves. And it's not just people. Usually it's 2 people or more. So it's 2,000 people. There's 1,000 more units coming. And now it's 2,000 to 4,000 more people. And where are these people going to go? They're going to try and go to the beach club. Let's just say 10%. On any given day, you could have 600, 700, 800 people there. That doesn't fit that. So that's going to be a problem. Just saying. But right now, post-retirement travels brother is getting 80%. So, hey, that's pretty awesome. Thanks for the details. Let's go. My brother's 80% plus occupancy is for the past 3 months. Keep in mind, he just started renting at the end of 2025. Okay, so we've got the prime time occupancy rate, which thank you so much for sharing, by the way, because this gives people hope at Cana Rock. But again, it only gives people hope who can find his unit at Universe and get the same person that designed it and the same property manager, because that is a high occupancy rate for sure. Great work there. So now we're going to have to find out what's going to happen between this April, May, and June numbers, which should come down. So this is going to be very interesting. And he's priced right also. He paid the right price. You can't go in there and pay $250 now, because now you're going to be, well, you could, I guess, if you didn't mind charging $130 a night, I guess. But that doesn't make much sense. It's hard to grab good picture if everything around is under construction. No, everything's not under construction is the point. So the other places that are, everybody on the air ROI are actually units that are delivered. So that's where the problem comes in for my assessment. If people have never seen my Punta Cana assessment, that's where the problem comes in. This is what you're looking at right now. Imagine when, just like you're saying, all the rest of the units are delivered that aren't on Airbnb right now. If these are the occupancy rates right now, what's going to happen when they deliver another 500 to 1,000 units in the neighborhood, in that area, which is what's going to happen. Next year, by next year, there's going to be another 1,000 units on the market because Ocean Bay is not even open yet, as far as I know. And you still don't have the condo hotel that's in Los El Cordacito over there. And Maple Beach still has their second phase to deliver. Haven't even gotten to that yet. So all those and all the units that's going to be behind the gardens. So again, the area is going to be inundated with 500 to 1,000 new units over the next year and a half. So if you have these occupancy rates now, what's going to happen when you deliver another 500 to 1,000? And in order to make this all work, you're going to still need at the Punta Cana airport, just based on those guys alone, if you have 1,000 more units delivered, for instance, and let's say, well, again, I'll use 2,000, and that's a week. So you need 8,000 more people per month to come in the hopes that they would be staying in your location just for that location. So we're at 8,000. Now you need some more for downtown. So let's just say you need another 2,000. Now you need 10. So then now you say, okay, I need people who's going to be staying not downtown, not in Los Corrales, but they might be going to Cana Rock. So now you say, well, I need another 1,000. So all of a sudden you realize you need 15,000 a week, 45,000 per month. You need 500,000 more people to come in next year, right? This year, for instance. This year, or last year, they did 8.9. My prediction is 9.3, 9.4. There's your 500,000, right? That's just to stay level. And hope that those people that come stay in a short-term rental. But if they go to a hotel, that means there's less people available in the pool. Now you have more units available. So again, you're in a catch-22, and that's why everybody who bought at a lower price, you guys are ultimately going to win, because just like post-retirement Travel's brother, because he bought his one bedroom at 120, he can charge 120. The person that buys a one bedroom for 200, 225, he's in a whole different ball game, because he's going to go, wait, I'm going to charge 120 so I can get 80%. He might say, well, that's a better idea than trying to get 200 a night, or 195 or 175, and have a lower occupancy, like 30%. That's not going to be good. So he might determine, well, I'd rather get like 20,000 roughly. If that guy can do it, maybe I can too. But he doesn't get to make the money like post-retirement Travel's brother does. It's a high risk, high reward scenario. I paid 400 for 10 days in a one bedroom in November at Blue Marlin. It went up in December and January, but not much. Yes, exactly. Yes, you will. You're in the construction zone, right? With construction, I mean, yeah. You're going to pay cheaper. That generally happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. I was on here way too long. Once again, we didn't get too much into the American chaos abroad, losing and winning by investing. But once again, I want to thank EV Place and Post Retirement Travel, who are members of the channel with the icon next to their name. So thank you so much. And as we were discussing, these guys actually have property outside the United States, businesses outside the United States. That's part of the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You have until December 31st. Make sure you get stuff outside the U.S. Also, make sure you get your credit score down to 775. Okay? Those are the two things. Bank account outside of the United States and outside the U.S. jurisdiction. So no, it's not you go to a U.S. territory and open up a bank account. No, some people think when they go to Puerto Rico or Virgin Islands or Samoa, they think they're outside of the United States. You're not. That's still under USA jurisdiction. So you have to be in another country, not USA. All right? Okay? Some people still think Puerto Rico is not in the USA, and citizens that are born there are not U.S. citizens. It's crazy. Okay, same thing with the Virgin Islands. People think, oh, they're born in the Virgin Islands. Okay, they're not Americans. Well, yeah, they're not if they're born in the British Virgin Islands. They're not Americans, you're right. If they're born in the U.S. Virgin Islands, yes, they are. So when Dumb Donnie said, the president of the Virgin Islands, that was hilarious. The president of the Virgin Islands, he should be thankful. I'm like laughing my ass off. But anyhow, man, this is unbelievable. But it just blows me away, quite frankly. This, this is just crazy what we got going on in America right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's why it's easy to win. We have a whole bunch of people at the helm that don't know what the heck they're doing, which now means the markets are going, oh man, these dudes are crazy. Let's involve ourselves with this. We can take advantage. And that's what you should be doing. All right, in all seriousness, because this may be the last time you'll be able to do this. Because after this, you might be under lockdown. Seriously, debt is going to increase for everything. And that means you're going to be stretched. And that means you have to either give something up or move, like a large percentage of Americans are now moving outside the United States. There's a reason for that. Because the cost in America is much different than around the world. We've been subsidizing the world for the last 50 years, 60, 70 years. You, taxpayers, you. All right? So just remember that. All right, I got to run. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys very much. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but you have to do something. All right? You can't just sit by and hope something happens. You got to make plans. You got to try and do something and everything. Even I'm coming up with something new and different myself because things are getting choked at one point. That means you have to do something in another arena. All right? But in this case, it's something I really love. Sticking it to some people that deserve it. All right? And that's my thing. All right? It's an industry that needs to be overturned. Tables need to be tossed, thrown out, and no gatekeeping until they figure out a way to stop it. So they will. But until the meantime, if I can pull this off, it's going to be glorious. We will see. All right. Just make sure you guys stay safe out here because people are, because of American chaos domestically and abroad, people's minds are tainted because they get gaslit and they believe what people say instead of going to check and see what actually is going on. The internet was designed for people to get information and to check and verify and make sure what they're reading and hearing is even legitimate. It turns out that that's not what people do. They allow people to tell them something and they don't even go check. You should always go check whatever somebody says from multiple sources to see, and then go see if somebody says, I did this, then you should see if they actually did it, right? So this pertains to when you're getting gaslit to be afraid of something. You should be going, you're telling me to be afraid of something for no reason. So let me go see why you're telling me to be afraid, because there must be some reason you're telling me this. So I'll go see if I should be. And then if I see what you're doing, especially if you're in the government and you actually work as a senator or a House of Representative, and I can actually see what your voting record is on certain things, it gets kind of harder to gaslight me when you say TSA is shut down because of a certain party, and then I go see when the funding comes up for TSA, you voted against funding the TSA, but you said the other guys were stopping us. Gaslighting. You need to go check and make sure these guys is telling the truth. That they are telling the truth is one of those things. So just keep that all in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And with all that said, no matter what you do, be safe and always keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.